I've been on the search for the UK's cheapest high street meal deal for a very long time now, and I think I might have actually found it. Poundland's £3 meal deal prices out Tesco by a whopping 60p, and it's definitely the cheapest meal deal out there right now on British shelves. But is it really worth the 60p saving? Well, the other day I found out. But how was I feeling just moments before trying the cheapest meal deal in the UK?
I don't know what I'm expecting. I don't know what I'm going into. I've had a lot of bad things about the Poundland meal deal. I think it's more, where is it coming from? And like who's making them? Who's making the sandwiches? Where are they being made? The production line, I think something like Tesco, you trust it inherently because it's just Tesco. I think Poundland's always going to have that label attached with it that just isn't trustworthy. I think that's the part that scares me the most. I don't know what I'm eating. I don't know where it's coming from. It's definitely going to be a learning experience, and I think this may teach people to be more open-minded. I mean, it depends on my experience. You know, I'm not a man of class by any means, and I still wouldn't choose to go to Poundland for a meal deal, and that's the thing that I really want to break down, and I want to psychoanalyze myself and really realize like why, you know, and is it going to be that bad? But then maybe on the other hand, it might be really bad. It might be as bad as I think it's going to be, and then that will teach me even more, and that will teach me that sometimes you should trust your initiatives and you should just stick with what you know.
Now, on the tram ride to my local Poundland, a lot of thoughts were flowing through my mind. One of them being that Poundland's £3 meal deal actually pleasantly surprised me when it's met my gaze. This is largely because of the retail giant's habit of unpoundlanding their image over recent years. Don't get me wrong, it's still laughably cheap for a lot of basic household goods and can be an absolute lifeline for my wallet. I just find myself seeing a huge number of products priced well over the initial promise of £1. This, of course, detracts from my ultimate dream of wandering in a utopian-style fantasy land where everything is made from banknotes and copper, but I digress. Now, to actually get to my local Poundland, I had to get through this colossal crowd of people at Nottingham's festive Christmas market. Now, I don't know how I actually did it, but I was absolutely determined to try that £3 meal deal. So I was prepared to do whatever it took.
We're now approaching Poundland. Yeah, this is it. This is what everything's kind of culminated to. Let's get over it.
Now, approaching Poundland, I wasn't scared at all. When it comes to the Poundland part, I actually really like Poundland. I go there quite a lot. What I was scared for was the meal deal part, and more specifically, the sandwich itself.
£3, that's 60p less than Tesco, which is a very big difference, I think. That looks horrible, but I'm sure that's not the only choice you can get, so yeah.
The selection of the mains were, for the most part, not my cup of tea. Cheese and onion and chicken mayo sandwiches certainly haven't made my Christmas list this year. My eyes burned amidst the endless ocean of sandwiches I wouldn't even feed to my dog until I came across the festive feast lurking in the top right of the fridge. A glimmer of hope seemed to empower my being, and I quickly grabbed this sandwich and hoped for the best. It is Christmas after all, so I thought this choice of main would be the store's best offering.
Yeah, really. So with this one, because it's only £3, I'm not too concerned about saving a load of money and getting like the best value meal deal. Just notice as well, they've got a bit more drink selection. We've got Shake and Udder, which is actually quite a good milkshake brand, so I do rate that. A lot of iced coffee, caffeinated based drinks, which is pretty cool. I've got my drink there. So we've got some decent snack selection. Is this a meal deal snack? If it is, that's very good. That's good. So the final meal deal that we went with is a Max Punchy Paprika. A very nice crisp. One that I would normally opt for in like a Tesco meal deal or an Asda meal deal. we've got a festive turkey feast sandwich, which on first impressions, like genuine first impressions, doesn't look half bad, which I'm really surprised at. So, and then we've got a nice Red Bull, one of the medium-sized Red Bulls, the 355 milliliters. So yeah, I mean, this is something you'd see in Tesco. And without a club card, this is setting you back £4. So, it's slightly concerning. So we're saving a lot of money here. But are they good savings? And is it worth the saving? We're about to find out. So we're gonna start off with the sandwich, the main attraction, the main event. I really like this packaging. We've got a nice little "'tis the season to be jolly," which makes me feel really happy. It makes me feel Christmassy and festive, and that's the whole point of this sandwich, and that's why I chose it. We're nearing Christmas now, and I want to be in a good mood. I want to feel festive, and this sandwich certainly makes me feel that way, just by looking at it. Obviously, I haven't tasted it yet, but I really like this packaging. You know, gingerbread men, don't know why lemons are on there. Candy canes, holly, some Christmas pudding. Really good. You don't see Tesco with this kind of packaging. So in this sandwich, obviously, we've got sliced turkey with pork, sage and onion stuffing, cranberry sauce, bacon, and seasoned mayonnaise on malted wheat grain bread. Yeah, let's crack it open. And it definitely feels a little bit more kind of squashed together than, say, a Tesco sandwich. Let's open it up and see what we're working with here. The cranberry sauce looks quite nice. Obviously quite a depressing bit of pork there, but turkey looks good. I mean, filling wise, quite nicely filled up. They haven't been stingy with that. Soggy. This little end bit here, very soggy. I don't like that at all. You can sort of, it's not good. We'll go in with a bite. It's not great. The turkey isn't, you can tell it's kind of poor quality turkey. The cranberry doesn't really have much flavour. Taste-wise, it's what you'd expect. It's like kind of cranberry-infused turkey with the bacon and the stuffing. It's like all those flavours you would kind of expect to find on this sandwich, but it's executed poorly, and it's just not very nice. You know, I'm not kind of drawn to take another bite, if that makes sense. Comparing it to, like, for example, the Tesco like turkey sandwich that they've got is leagues ahead of this, which you know it's not great. Yeah, I mean, it's a chore to eat. It doesn't look very dry from the inside of it, but it is. I'm not impressed with that at all. I'm gonna give that a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I really, really didn't like the main. There was just something about that sandwich that just tasted, it was just awful. I really hated it. I was genuinely, and it might seem like I'm kind of over-exaggerating for the cameras and, you know, trying to be performative and do that and say, oh, it was so bad. It genuinely was one of the worst sandwiches I've ever eaten in my life, and I'm genuinely really disappointed because I thought I saw a really good value meal deal, £3. I thought, you know, it might be half decent. It really wasn't. It was one of the worst sandwiches I've ever had. I'm reflecting on it. It's been about a week now. Yeah, it really wasn't great. It really wasn't great. But now onto the snack. What did I think of the snack? Let's find out.
Now we'll review these crisps. I've had them many times before. I know what I'm gonna get. I think what's actually really funny about these crisps is that there's a little thing here that says not actual size when looking at the crisp on the packet. But what's funny is I bet I could probably find one in here that is the size of that front. Look at that. Could sue them for that. I couldn't. Very nice. Elite.
The drink actually really helps this meal deal. Poundland's drink variety was genuinely brilliant, and it definitely surprised me. I had an expectation of more second-rate brands such as Boost Energy, so I was happy to see the big brands like Coke and Red Bull and Fanta on the Poundland shelves. A solid drink choice, in my opinion, can make or break a meal deal. And I was happy that Poundland nailed this aspect, and it kept this review from being absolutely miserable. I went for a Diet Red Bull. How did I find it? Let's find out.
Let's go for the Red Bull as well. Obviously classic Red Bull. Sugar-free one. Can't go wrong with a Red Bull. It's really cold. Good. They keep their fridges on, which is great. Some Poundlands don't. I've seen the horrors. I'm gonna go for a 9 out of 10 for the Red Bull. I really like Red Bull. Now coming into this, I genuinely thought this was going to be the worst sandwich that I'd ever tried in my life. And we've reached the end now. I've had the sandwich. I didn't want to eat it all. I didn't like the sandwich. But what I'm gonna say is it wasn't as bad as people make it out. And I'm also gonna say that my conclusion about the Poundland meal deal is that I do think you should give it a pass. I don't think that 60p difference that you can get with a club card between this Poundland meal deal and a Tesco meal deal is worth it. I don't think that saving this 60p is worth it. Because I think this, frankly, it was a miserable experience eating that. I took 2 bites of it and I genuinely just didn't want to carry on eating it. Genuinely. I'm not playing up for the cameras. Genuinely, I just didn't want to eat it. And with this, it's kind of like you did. You know, you're putting your hand in a bucket and you're like, what am I going to get? Is it going to be great? Is it going to be... This time it wasn't. This isn't obviously representative of every single product in the Poundland range, obviously. But I think it's probably a good representation. I mean, this is their festive sandwich, you know. This is a seasonal one, you know. This isn't even all year round, and I'm still not impressed with it. You know, this is meant to be their best work, if anything, and this is not nice. What I would say is positives. I really, really, really like this packaging. I think this is so much better than the Tesco and Asda festive packaging. Genuine work has gone into this. You know, it looks hand-drawn. It's very good. I like the packaging. It's just a real shame about the sandwich, and that's really what I think has let the Poundland meal deal down. But drinks-wise, on par to Tesco. You can get a big Red Bull. You can get the huge Red Bull as well for the same price. You can get a Coke. You can get pretty much every drink that you can get in Tesco, you can get in Poundland, which I think they've done really well on. Obviously, the snack selection as well is good. Not as many as Tesco, but this is Poundland. You know, it's a saver. It's a budget place. There's nowhere near going to be as much focus on the meal deal side of it. So I think they're doing something right. It's a budget-friendly option. If you don't mind a sandwich that isn't as good as the Tesco one, I would suggest trying the Poundland meal deal, because you don't know until you try. And you might like it, and you might go there, and that might be your go-to place for a meal deal. But for me personally, I'm going to give it a pass from now on. But yeah, no, this has definitely been a journey, and I've enjoyed it. And what I've learned is that, you know, I went into this with an idea in my head, and that idea has turned out to be good. But I've taken a lot of positives out of it as well. But yeah, that's all from me today. Thanks.